stuck in the snow and this is on pavement, well, it ain't gonna spin, it's just gonna sit there. It's gonna be stuck. And even though this sounds like the much better attractive way, and it is, before this video's over with, a lot of you may just find that an open differential is a much better idea. Are you kidding me? Do you want to lose the Mopar community? Do you want to be canceled? Come on, an open differential over a sure grip? You're nuts. Relax, he will get it, and by the end of the video you will too. Now let's take these two examples and explore them a little bit further. So when you're taking a corner, this is taking a right-hand turn onto a road. The inside, and these are just examples, the inside tire makes 1 full revolution. The outside tire makes 3 full revolutions. With an open diff, this is not a problem. Tires are more than happy to run at 2 different speeds and will go around the corner without you even knowing that they've actually done anything. With a limited slip, it can do the same thing as an open. If you're going around the corner and you're not putting a load against the differential, the spider gears inside here will turn just like the spider gears inside here, and I'll show you examples of that here in a minute. And it will make it around the corner just fine. But if you put a load to this, you step on the gas when you're going around this corner, it's going to limit the difference between this tire speed and this tire speed, which means this tire is turning 1 revolution, this tire is going to turn 3. When you step on the gas, that differential is going to basically lock up, and now this inside tire is going to have to turn 3 turns while this one turns 3 turns. This guy squeals and barks and makes all kinds of noise and gets attention from the officers as you take the corner because it's turning 3 turns, which means this tire is going to squeal and spin all the way around the corner. Now if you had a spool, which we haven't discussed here, but a spool is 1-to-1 all the time. It won't, the speed will not change. You can hang this tire off a cliff and they're both going to turn the same speed. You put that in this situation, no matter how light a throttle, no matter how hard a throttle, no matter what you do, that tire is going to bark and squeal all the way around the corner. I've got some open differentials and posi differentials over on the floor, and we'll grab the camera and kind of give you a better picture of how this works. Before we get into the second version of this chart, may I suggest you stay till the end where I'll show you a hack on how to make an open differential temporarily act like a limited slip. Stay till the end and I'll explain it. Okay, this is our open differential. These are your side gears in an open differential, and the ones attached to it are your side gears. And this is how an open differential works. When you're going around a corner, these side gears are turning, compensate, and make one tire turn slower than the other tire. When you're going down the road, these don't move. They stay stationary. They just go around like that, and they don't move because both tires are traveling at the same speed, so they just stay together. It's when you start going around a corner and one tire has to go faster than the other is when that tire starts to turn differently. We'll put some axles in here and give you a little different look. Hi, it's me again. We need clarification here. These are spider gears. These are side gears. I now return you to regularly scheduled program. Some axles in it, we can make this a little more clear. So go around, actually let's go this way. Driving down the road, you can see the spider gears don't turn. They just stay together when you're going straight down the road. They just are hanging out there. You start to go around a corner where one tire has to turn slower than the other, and you can see the spider gears are turning to allow that action to happen. That's how an open differential works without getting all technical on how them spider gears work. You can get the basic idea and understanding. That's how an open works. This is a limited slip differential, a sure grip if you will, and you can barely see the spiders. You can see the spider, and I'm turning them just like an open differential would. So when you're going around a corner and you're not putting a load, not getting your foot in it going around a corner, these side gears turn just like an open differential. But that little post right there isn't perfectly round. It's got two sides cut out of it. And when you put it under a load, it pushes against there, which turns this and applies the clutches that are in here and back in here. And once the clutches are applied, you can't do this anymore. I'll see if I can make that happen here. Okay, turning it, they're both turning together. If you go around a corner and you're just gently turning the tire, it'll go just like the open. Turning one, not turning the other. But now, I put a load against it, and I can't stop that axle from turning now. It is locked up and turning 1 to 1, no matter how much I put a load on it. The posi has been loaded. You mash the throttle when you're going around the corner, and now the spider gears are locked. I can get my finger in there. I guess you're just gonna have to take my word for it, but I cannot turn that. So it's locked up, and now one tire, the inside tire, is gonna squeal all the way around the corner. But if you'd run a light foot on it, you could make it around the corner just like an open diff. After that, they went to what was called a cone style limited slip, posi, sure grip, whatever term you want to use. See if I can get some light on that one. So you can see this is the style of posi that Chrysler used after '69, at least in their cars. In the trucks, that's a different story and a different day. All you see is springs in it, and this is called a cone style posi. Two tapered friction surfaces, one over here and one over here, and these springs push a load against it, and it just has a set amount of load. When you put a load, it gives it a little bit more, but the springs are basically what holds it in place. So when you go around a corner, you have a serious drag on the inside tire. Not so much that it'll make the tire break free, but it's resisting and it's trying to make it act like a posi. If you get your foot into it, then it'll start to spin both tires equally, just like the other. It's kind of a different way of doing it. This one, if you're in the snow, this one would probably work better, and I think that's probably why they went to it, because already got a load against the two axle shafts compared to the ring and pinion. These are non-rebuildable. You wear them out, you replace them. These, you can buy new clutches for them and rebuild them. My personal preference, I like them better. But then again, I'm drag racing, not driving around in the snow. Let's go back to the chalkboard and evaluate the difference between the open and the posi and why you will or won't want to choose one or the other. A sure grip, posi. Now let's get to this chart. All right, let's go through all these and I'll explain why I chose what I chose. First of all, green check mark, first place. Okay, second. No, third. Community vehicle. Now, let's classify that, because a community vehicle to me is going to be a muscle car. Something from the late 50s to the late 70s, back when most engines were V8s. So let's say you got your commuter car, you use it every day, gets you to and from work, runs you all over, does all your errands. Open differential is going to take first place in my opinion. Limited slip is okay. Spool is a bad idea. Dual purpose, street strip car. Open differential, it's okay. Not really at the track, but it's a dual purpose, so it's okay. Limited slip, for sure. That's the best choice. A spool on the street, no. Lowest maintenance, open differential. Limited slip, you gotta put limited slip lubrication in it, and the clutches are gonna wear, and you're eventually gonna have to replace the whole unit or replace the clutch pack. Spool, yeah, it's okay. It's not going to break anything. It's not going to need any maintenance. It usually just breaks other things like axles. Best traction? Well, open differential sure has not got the best traction. Limited slip's okay. A spool, you can't get any better traction. It's 1-to-1 all the time, every time. Best fuel economy, it's going to be an open differential. An open differential because there's no drag when you go around corners or doing anything else. It's just the freest, easiest moving differential that you can use. Limited slip, there's some times when you got some friction in there, and so minutely, but fuel economy is going to be less. A spool, no. You can't even get around a corner without tons of friction and friction with this one tire spinning and spinning as you go around corners, and this is no fun on the street. Best tire life, open differential, all the way. Even if you are nice with your limited slip and you go around corners without getting your foot into it and then opening it up after you get straight, that right inside tire will wear faster than the left every single time, because it's always putting a load on that tire. That right side tire is always working harder than the other one when you take a corner. A spool, it'll destroy that inside tire in no time at all, and it takes a lot of effort on the throttle just to get you around the corner when you've got a locked differential and you got a spool. Best handling in slippery weather. The reason I say the open is better is because if you're heading down the highway, one tire finds a piece of snow or ice and starts to spin, the other tire is not, and you stay straight. With the limited slip, when that tire breaks free, they're both breaking free, and your ass end might just decide to be going down the road as it spins out. It's not a good idea. And of course, locking differential is even worse than that. Best handling around corners. I choose the open again because if you're going around a corner and you get your foot into it and the tire starts spinning, you've got one tire spinning, you go around the corner under complete control. With limited slip, you get sideways, which I enjoy doing, but sometimes people in the passenger seat don't get a kick out of it as me. But anyways, and of course, a spool, yeah, you haven't got any control going around a corner. Most fun around the corners. Well, I give all three of these first place. Because an open, you go around the corner and stand on it, you can get that inside tire just a frying and burn it all the way out until it grabs. Limited slip, of course, it's real easy to spin the tire around the corner, and that's always fun. A spool, you have no choice, you're going to spin that inside tire all the way around the corner. Oh, what's this asterisk? We'll get that in a minute. Best for race car, opened? Oh no, never. Limited slip, depending on your horsepower level, you do good. Full race car, you need a spool. You have to have a spool. So we go down here. Oh, look at this. Open differential took first place. 7 out of 10. That's why I said you may consider an open over a limited slip. It's a daily commuter. Open differential all the way. If you're going to street strip it, limited slip. But this is what's interesting. Limited slip took third place. A spool actually took second. But I'll choose this one every day for my commuter or street strip car. But if I don't have a limited slip in my commuter, I'm not going to spend the time or money going from an open to a limited slip. So this asterisk, what is that? Well, let's go down here and look. Best way to shorten the life of your sure grip. Posi, limited slip, whatever you want to call it. Why? Because you've got one tire turning 3 revolutions per corner. This one's turning 1. Every time you spin this right rear tire, you have to go from 1 turn to 3. And that has to happen by it locking up by the clutches engaging. So the clutches on the inside or the right side will wear faster and quicker if you persist on burning your tires around the corner. Ask me how I know? I ate a Posi in a year. Just because I was young And I love doing this because I didn't have a whole lot of horsepower, but I could sure make them squeal around the corner, and I did it every chance I could. I mean, every chance I could. And I ate up a posse in a gear. So just something to think about. Now to what I promised you all that I would tell you before the end, and that's open works like a limited slip. You can make it happen. Say you pulled off the side of the road and you got one tire in an icy, snowy area and the other tire's on pavement, but you can't move forward because you spun and made ice when you tried to take off, and it's just sitting there spinning. So this tire is just a spinning because it's in snow. This tire has great traction, but it can't do anything because it's an open differential and all the power is going to the least amount torque. Here's some trivia. Does a dual posi give you 50% more than an open? Well, think about it while I continue. So this tire has very little traction and it's just sitting there spinning and you can't go anywhere. This tire has tons of traction, but all the power is going to the easiest, the least resistance side. If you take, and you got to have a well-adjusted and working emergency brake, but if you take and set your emergency brake, in fact use your left foot as the brake pedal and your right foot as the gas pedal, of course we're talking an automatic here, and you set the brake and then start accelerating so you're stalling up the converter just a little bit and slowly let go of that emergency brake, pretty soon you're going to have more power than brake, and you're going to have equal brake here and here. Therefore, it's just like going down the road. You have 50% here, 50% here, and it moves and off you go and get back out onto the road. It works, but it takes a lot of practice and finesse and a good working emergency brake and rear brake drums, or well, it could even work with discs, but they got to be in good working order so that you can set it and then just slowly let go until you've got more power than you've got brake, and it slowly starts going forward. By using the emergency brake and setting it good and hard and holding the release button with your hand, so when you're pushing on the emergency brake, it's like a regular brake pedal. So you push it down, then you start to stall it up, and you just slowly let go of that emergency brake until you start moving forward. That's your tip of the day. Like and subscribe if you got value out of this.